Have we just reached the most dangerous moment for the transatlantic alliance in decades? What started as political pressure has now exploded into something far more serious. This is a standoff that could reshape the future of relations between the United States and Europe. Throughout his time in office, a former U.S. president consistently pushed the boundaries of what anyone thought possible for American leadership. But his recent threats over Greenland might be the final turning point. Economic warnings and growing tensions in the Arctic have brought these long-standing allies to the very edge of confrontation. At the heart of it all is Greenland, a remote Arctic territory that has suddenly become a strategic flashpoint. Threats of trade wars linked to the island have sparked fears of a full-scale economic clash. Some analysts are even warning that if this escalates, it could threaten the future of NATO itself. European leaders are now trapped in a difficult position. If they ignore the pressure, it could be seen as weakness, something this particular U.S. administration has exploited in the past. But if they respond too aggressively, they risk a spiral of retaliation that could spin completely out of control. The real challenge is finding a response that is firm, but not reckless. Behind the scenes, European officials are assessing their options. Europe has huge economic strength, but it's still deeply dependent on the U.S. in key areas like digital infrastructure and military support. That dependency limits just how far Europe can push back safely. Unlike other global powers, Europe doesn't have a single trade weapon that could force an immediate reversal from Washington. But there's another side to this story. Inside the United States, many political, business, and security leaders are extremely uneasy. A total break with Europe is widely seen as a disaster, economically and strategically. The pressure isn't coming from a united American front, but from a small circle right at the top. On the home front, the former president is dealing with declining approval ratings and growing economic anxiety. History teaches us that moments like these often lead to dramatic distractions on the world stage. Still, public support for extreme action in the Arctic is low, and financial markets are already getting nervous. There are legal challenges too. Questions are being raised about whether new trade measures would even hold up in court. All of this points to a very narrow path forward. European leaders are considering a two-part strategy, preparing strong economic countermeasures while keeping diplomatic channels wide open. The message they want to send is clear. Arctic security can be achieved through cooperation, not ownership. Allies are ready to work together. The collapse of NATO would ultimately weaken everyone, including the United States. The next few weeks could decide whether this crisis is resolved at the negotiating table or becomes the moment that permanently broke the post-war alliance. For now, the world is watching and waiting. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into global events.